morning. Is everybody here?
Morning.
Good morning. I think so. Are we missing anybody? Nope. All right, and I think we're live and we are connected. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Good morning, Doug. Are we on the record? I can't hear him. We can't hear you, Doug. He's texting me. Says you have low bandwidth. Can't hear you. Okay, he says that he can hear us, so we can go on the record. All right, good morning, everybody. It is March 18th, 2021, approximately 10 a.m. My name is Christine Burke. I'm a public utility law judge with the Maryland Public Service Commission. We're here today for an evidentiary hearing in case number 9643, which is captioned in the matter of the application of Point Reyes Energy Partners, LLC, for a certificate of public necessity and convenience and necessity to construct a 19.84 megawatt photovoltaic generating facility in Allegheny County, Maryland. Can I please have appearances of counsel this morning, beginning with the applicant?
Good morning. David Bugelmans on behalf of the applicant, Point Reyes Energy Partners.
Thank you. PPRP?
Good morning, Your Honor. Steve Tolson, Assistant Attorney General Counsel for the Department of Natural Resources Power Plant Research Program.
Thank you. OPC?
Good morning, Your Honor. Patrick O'Laughlin on behalf of Maryland OPC.
Good morning. And for staff?
Your Honor, good morning. Kenneth Albert on behalf of staff.
Good morning. Mr. Bugelmans, would you like to start this morning?
Sure, Your Honor. As Your Honor is aware, the parties have effectively reached a settlement in this matter. So the parties have agreed to stipulate the testimony and exhibits. So my proposal would be we could read the exhibits for the record, we can enter them, and then Mr. Watlington from the applicant's available today to answer your questions after that point. Okay,
thank you. So I'd like to go through and get everybody's exhibits first, and then if that's okay, then have Mr. Watlington testify. I'm sorry.
Okay. So Your Honor, I could begin with the applicant's exhibits.
Thank you. Go ahead.
So for the record, there are already two exhibits already admitted. First off, applicant exhibit 1 is the General Assembly and local government notices. Applicant exhibit 2 is the certificate of publication for the pre-hearing conference. Both of those were admitted at the pre-hearing conference.
Correct, on June 9th.
The first new exhibit, Your Honor, would be applicant exhibit 3. That's the CPCN petition. This consists of 9 pages filed on May 13th, 2020. Under mail log number 230195.
Okay, and that'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 3.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next, as applicant exhibit 4, we have the environmental review document and appendices consisting of 409 pages, filed also on May 13th, 2020, also under mail log number 230195.
And that'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 4 for identification.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next up, we have applicant exhibit 5. It's the compliance filing for the first public comment hearing notices. It consists of 7 pages filed on August 10th, 2020 under mail log number 231397.
And they'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 5.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next, as applicant exhibit 6, we have the direct testimony of Neil Watlington, consisting of 4 pages. Filed on August 19th, 2020 under mail log number 231523.
And that'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 6.
Thank you. Next, we have applicant exhibit 7. This is direct testimony of Dane Bauer. It's comprised of 11 pages, also filed on August 19th, 2020, under mail log number 231523.
And that'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 7.
Thank you, Your Honor. Next is applicant exhibit 8. That's the updated concept plan for the project. This was filed as actually 2 separate mail log numbers due to sizing constraints on the commission's website. So in total, it's 19 pages. It was filed on November 13th, 2020, under mail log numbers 232575 and 232576.
Okay, so we're going to mark the 2 that were filed separately as one as applicant's exhibit 8.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Next up, Your Honor, we have applicant exhibit 9. That's the compliance filing for the second public comment hearing notices. It's comprised of 7 pages filed on March 8th, 2021, under mail log number 234069.
That'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 9.
Thank you, Your Honor. And then finally, as applicant exhibit 10, we have the settlement status update. It's 1-page letter filed on March 12th, 2021, under mail log number 234144.
That'll be marked as applicant's exhibit 10.
Thank you, Your Honor. That completes our list, and I would request for all of those exhibits to be moved into evidence.
Okay, is there any objection from PPRP as to admitting those exhibits?
No
OPC,
objection, Your Honor.
staff? No objection.
No objection.
Thank you. Those applicants exhibits 1 through 10 will be admitted to the record. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'd like to ask PPRP, do you have exhibits to offer?
Yes, Your Honor, we do. We have 8 exhibits. All of these exhibits were entered under mail log number 234048 on March the 5th, 2021. And I'll go through them as they are. PPRP Exhibit 1 is the state secretarial letter. PPRP Exhibit 2 is the recommended conditions for the CPCN. PPRP Exhibit 3 is the direct testimony of Sean Seaman of PPRP, who is the project manager for the Point Reyes project. PPRP Exhibit 4 is the direct testimony of Dr. Peter Hall. PPRP Exhibit 5 is the direct testimony of Mr. Donald Streppel. PPRP Exhibit 6 is the project assessment report in support of PPRP's testimony. PPRP Exhibit 7 is Appendix A to the project assessment report, and that consists of selected extracts of data requests and the responses. And finally, PPRP Exhibit 8 is Appendix B to the project assessment report, and that consists of the glare analysis for the solar panels. So I would at this time move to enter PPRP Exhibits 1 through 8 into the record, Your Honor.
Is there any objection from any of the parties? Mr. Bugelmans?
No, Your Honor.
OPC?
No objection.
And from staff?
No objections.
Thank you. PPRP Exhibits 1 through 8 will be admitted to the record. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
OPC, do you have anything to offer today?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Staff, do you have any exhibits you'd like to offer?
Yes, Your Honor. Staff has one exhibit. It would be the March 5th, 2021 direct testimony of staff engineer Christopher Lowe. We would ask that that be marked as staff exhibit 1. And then we'd ask if that could get introduced into the record.
Yes, the only correction I have was every page was marked number 3 at the bottom. So I believe the total was, oh, I had it written down. I'll start with page 1 after the cover page, and I believe it was 7 pages. And they'll be paginated according to what number they are at the bottom.
Thank you. I did not pick up on that. Appreciate it.
Okay, and that will be admitted to the record if there's no objection. Thank you.
Objection.
Okay, and Mr. Bugelman, do you have Mr. Watlington here today to testify?
We do, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you. Good morning, Mr. Watlington. Could you please raise your right hand? Thank you. Do you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the testimony you're about to give is the truth?
I do.
Thank you. I just had a couple questions regarding the battery energy storage component of the project. Does the applicant anticipate that the BESS will operate for the same useful life as the entire project?
I think the short answer to that is yes, but the replacement cycle of the BESS is usually shorter than it is of the panels. So in order to maintain the same capacity through the life of the project, it is typical for some of the energy storage components to be just kind of cycled through and substituted, just like batteries on any other type of equipment. They just have to be substituted and replaced through time.
Okay. Do you know about how long or how many times do you anticipate that they will be cycled through?
I think on average, as a rule of thumb, experts use an 8 to 10 year time frame for that, but it depends on the cycling of the facility. I wouldn't expect, if there were to be a commercial use for the BESS in this case, we wouldn't expect there to be too random a cycling, so it should be pretty consistent.
Okay. And so during those cycles, it's anticipated that they'll all be done in one sort of fell swoop, or will they be staggered, or could you not?
Yeah, it's usually through time. Again, it depends on the technology, but it's like a lot of smaller batteries as opposed to big batteries. They're like pouches, and so they're continuously monitored, and they get replaced as they degrade. So it's more continuous than it is one swell swoop. But again, I have to caveat, it depends on the technology that ends up being used. But that's been, my experience with lithium ion in particular.
And as you mentioned, the technology is advancing. So it's possible that the type of battery will change in 10 years that you're replacing it with?
If I don't know that it's likely. I guess there's always a slight possibility of something like that occurring, but for the most part, once you start with when you make an investment in a technology, you're most likely going to continue with that technology through time.
Is there a plan for disposal of the batteries once they are degraded?
I mean, that would be a part of our planning, and certainly a consideration. I don't know that we have a particular document right now that defines that, but it is part of the operational plan of the facility to find adequate disposal or recycling of those batteries.
Okay. Are there any questions in light of my questions?
I have one question, Your Honor, as a follow-up.
Okay.
Mr. Watlington, are you familiar with PPRP's conditions?
Yes, I am.
Have you reviewed the condition that requires the project to file for approval of a decommissioning plan prior to construction?
Yes, I have.
Would you expect that the removal and recycling of battery equipment would be covered in that plan?
Yes, it would.
So in terms of the cycling of equipment, that's something that could be handled in that plan. The commission would have an opportunity to review and approve that.
That's correct. Yes.
That's my only question, Your Honor. A series of questions.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions in light of those questions?
No questions.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Watlington.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Is there any other outstanding issues or anything else that we need to address today?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
Seeing none, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mr. Court Reporter, we can go off the record.
Mr.
you.
Watlington, looks like you're in a very nice locale.
Yeah, I have certain advantages because of where I was born. And I'm in Puerto Rico right now. I'm actually traveling back to Maryland tomorrow.
I spent about 3 years in the Virgin Islands, so I was a neighbor of yours back when.
Yeah, I mean, it's quite special. I mean, you grew up here and you don't realize how beautiful it is until you come